Okay, let's have a go at this. What have we got? 121. Non ite est perfecto. Perfecto, assuredly. Ulysses, judges, vocative again. Or jury of the gentlemen of the jury. So non ite est. So it's not so. Assuredly, gentlemen or jurymen. Non est very similar. It's not similar to the truth. It's not very similar. It's not likely that Chrysogenus, the nominative, he, if you know mo, AMO, it's one of the first ones you learn, adds just a compound at front. So it's not likely that Chrysogenus loved the literus of them. This is their ability to write letters and education, or their humanitatem. This is their culture or kindness, their humanitatem, humanitatis. And non, so that he cognorat, that's so that he knew, the diligentia and the fidem of them. The diligentia is their diligence or abilities to do things properly, and the fidems, fidem trustworthiness, etc. In negotium, in the business, when it comes to matters of the household. Originally, familiaris comes from slaves. At later times, we get our family that we have these days. Est quidem quod. Quidem's the certain thing that's a neuter, certain thing which is occulted, hidden, lying secret. Quod, okay, so we have a comparative, it becomes quo. Something that more studious there is than by these people, by istis. It is prominent, it is pressed, concealed and absconded, covered up. So it's suppressed and covered up, whatever this thing is, which is the more studious. So it looks like actually quo and eo magus. So all the more that imminent, that it comes out and is apparent. So in other words, it's something that's hidden, and the more that it comes to light and is apparent, the more studious it is by them, it is crushed and hidden away. That's 121. 122. Quid igiter, what therefore then? So what then? Chrysogenus, genitives. Causa, for the sake of occultering, for the sake of covering up of his own maleficence or evil deeds, he does non-vult. He doesn't want them to be haberade, to be considered or had anything concerning them, deius, in the Inquisition. So it looks like he's asking, is Chrysogenus covering up his own crime? Minime, which means not at all. Non in omnis arbitror, so arbitror means I think, or in my judgments. It is not that in omnis, omnia conveneres. Convenere means come together or is agreed upon. So he doesn't think that omnia is for omnius. So he doesn't think all these charges or guilt is on everyone. That's what he's thinking. I, in Chrysogenus' case, as far as quod ad mea tenet, as far as it pertains to me, there's nothing I suspicio. I don't suspect anything of any type, eus modo. Nequi hoc mihi nunc primum. So neither has this thing come to me now primum for the first time into my mind, venit has it come, to decorate, to say this. You will remember, Memoniski, me, having ita thus, initio at the beginning of this case, distributed. I've divided it up into the crime, quis toto argumentu, the whole case of this incrimination is permissa to eucrio. So this whole case of proving it is given to eucrio, and then looks like the second part, in the audacia, in the boldness, of which this part is imposited. So it's placed upon the Rosci's, this part. Okay, so we've got the charge and we've got the audacity, the two things. So maybe it's not three, maybe it's in the two. So, quid, whatever malefica, whatever evil deed, whatever sceleros, whatever crime, whatever cadus, whatever slaughter there shall be proven, erit, it debited esse. So, this ought to be, looks like proprium Rosci, belonging to the Rosces. So he's saying that looks like he's not really charging cross the genus too much with it, but the crimes themselves belong to the Roscio. So nimium gratium, too much gratia, which is influence, and potentia and power. Dicamus, we say, of cross belonging to cross the genus. So it's excessive influence and power, we shall say, taking the infinitive because it's a head verb. This will block nobis. This impedes us or blocks us. And in nullo modo, by no way, posse, ought it to be perferred, to be born or carried or suffered, a vobis by you. Quoniam, since data est potest. The power is given, non modo, not only to infirmare, to weaken, it looks like this power, but etiam, but even there ought to be vindicare, there ought to be defeated or something. Its consequences of him having too much power ought to be weakened, and in fact they should have more power than across the genus, it looks like. So we'll have a daily dictionary word. Vindico, avenge or vindicate, claim or punish. It's a very usual way of it. Can be used for liberating, delivering, sparing or rescuing, or with a, ab, ex in the ablative to protect someone. So yeah, it's probably not to avenge so much, but yeah, you should be punished a bit. And back to 123. Ego, I, sick, thus, estimo, I think, that qui, who valets, he who wants to be quarried, from these who it is agreed, constat is agreed, a bit like convenere. So that he it is who wants, from those who were agreed, who were ad fuisi, those who were present, they had been there when the cage fact dress, when the slaughter had been. He desires, remember Cicero's existimoing, he's thinking, so cuperang here is infiniting. He's desiring the verum to be found. He wants the truth to be discovered. And qui, who id this refuses, who refuses this, him perfecto, assuredly. Taminetsi, although he non audiats, he doesn't dare with a word, nevertheless, re ipsa, in the matter himself, he is confederating himself with this maleficio. That's a nice bit of writing, that little section there. So Cicero's thinking that he who wants these people who are present at the slaughter, he wants them to come forth, to be queer-eyed into. He wants the truth found. But he who refuses, assuredly, even though he doesn't confess with a word, he has taken some part. He's confessing himself silently that he took part of this evil deed. Dixie, I said, initia at the beginning, gentlemen, head verb again, taking the infinitive. I don't want me, plural, more concerning this crime of them to dicere. I don't want to say more than the case or the cause postulates, demands, and necessity itself has cogerated as forced me. Nice simple language. Nam et, for also multe many things possant are able to be adferred or brought into the case. The res is usually means circumstances. So many cases or circumstances are able to be postulated, and una sometimes it means together. It probably means one here, in which from each of these are able to be dicied, are able to be said. So many of these things are able to be said, cum arguments, with their arguments or whatever you want to call them. You can argue their points. Vir amigo, but I, quod invitus, what is unwilling, and by necessity I'm facioing, I'm doing, neither do I have a long time, nor diligence. I think the Loeb's is a nice little translation. I don't want to spend time or trouble. Okay, I don't want to spend time or trouble. What I'm possum to facere, what I can do. The quae, the things which, in no modo, in no way are able to be passed by, passive infinitive. These things, ea levita. These things, briefly or lightly, gentlemen, I will I will touch upon. And the things which are posited in suspicion, so This is contrasting now the things which are really suspicious. Concerning these, if I begin to speak, if copero dicere, pluribus verbibus. Okay, this is a gerund constructive. It means must be done. As you know, to make a dissertation or whatever, that's to speak. Usually you have prepared, you can read it from a paper like a dissertation, they have them, that's in English. So many words I'll be elegantly waxing on and off about, and I will commit these things is to vestris ingenis. We get the word genius from that. That's also to your own natures and conjectures. So that's 123. 124, venio nunc. Now I venio to that golden name, which is neuter, of Chrysogenus, sub quo, under whose nomine, under whose name, latuit lays hidden the whole alliance, the whole societas. Concerning quo Ulysses, might be by which way, gentlemen, neither quo modo do I know how to speak, in which way I should speak, and neither in what way I am able to find to tack him to stay quiet. Okay, so he's definitely going to speak about Chrysogenus now. Si enim tachio. For if I tachio, looks like vel the adverb. For instance, I will relinquo, I will leave a maximum part, a great part of his prepared work maybe, and autem, however, or moreover, sin, if I don't, dico, very or nay, verb of fearing, ut near inverted. So I fear that not he solus, not he alone, in this little clause, id quod ad nil attenet, so which really has nothing to do with me, I don't really care about, but others, ally, also, plures, so other people, and many of them also, will think, say themselves to be lesos, to be hurt or insulted or provoked or whatever. Taminetsi, so nevertheless, ita se res habet. This is everything concerning this case or whatever. This is as much as the case holds. Ut me, that to me, in communium causum of sectorums, in the common case of sectors, I think we've covered a lot of that. These are people who broke up and sell off estates and make a lot of profit. You can probably Google the history of them. It seems that nihil dicendum magna, they shouldn't have much great work devoted to speaking about that. For these causa, for this case, assuredly, profecto, is novel or new and singularis, and a special type, or it's related to this one, not really the whole common history of these brokers.